Hi, my name is Adri Hayes, and I am your not so great makeup artist. And obviously, not so great hairstylist. Let me tell y'all something. I tried to straighten my hair, and it did not go as planned. I'm actually natural, and I don't know, my arms get tired. So, yeah, that was a thing that happened. But trying new things in 2023, and that was one that I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna keep it. Now, what, you ask, does haint, or what does painted haint mean? So haint is another word for ghost. It's commonly used here in the South, especially with like the older generation. And to paint it haint, it is just like whatever you want. But the color haint is called, it's a type of blue rather. So I've seen this color actually. Sorry, product placement. I've seen this color, or like this color here, described as haint blue. You see it a lot in the low country, so like along the coast, but I don't think I've ever seen it up here in the South. Up here in Atlanta where I am. So that is where I got the name for the show from. And today we are going to talk about Bimini, Bahamas, and some other places because I kind of don't have a lot of information. So just bear with me. And today's look is going to be inspired by Avatar. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen the first one. Haven't seen the Way of the Water yet because I've got a short attention span. I don't know what happened, but I can't do 3 hours. Like I was like, can I just watch it on Disney Plus or something? Like, can we just? So, anyways, we are going to talk about the island of Bimini, and while we do that, I am going to put on my hopefully Avatar inspired makeup. So anyways, Bimini is an island located, I have my notes here, located in the westernmost district of the Bahamas, and it's located 49.7 miles from Miami, and it's 130 miles northwest of the capital, Nassau. So yeah, and I actually, how I got interested in this is we went there in October on a Halloween cruise. And yeah, it was lit. It was amazing. It was spooktacular. It was everything I wanted it to be. And one of our ports of call was Bimini. And it's a pretty small island. It's very small. Like, it's like a thin strip of land. But it's cute. So the capital is Alistown. And the word Bimini is a Taino word meaning mother of many waters. And its famous landmarks are the Bimini Road, not like on the island. So if you know anything about like lore or whatever, the Bimini Road, and it's actually here in my notes, is an area underwater, or it's well, not, I don't say area, but it's like basically it's stones. Like, they look like paved stones, or like a road, pretty much, hence the name Bimini Road. And people think that it is the road to Atlantis. So that's a famous landmark. Also, the Fountain of Youth is said to be there. Now, if you know anything, the Fountain of Youth is said to be everywhere. I mean, especially Florida. Oh, St. Augustine. Beautiful city. The Fountain of Youth is everywhere, apparently. But Florida's like, nah, we got it here in every single city. like they're like, it could be at St. Augustine. No, it could be in Orlando. Conveniently next to Disney. But anyways, so the Fountain of Youth, like I said, supposedly is here and is referred by Juan Ponce de Leon. It was referred to by him in a report So it's said that the Spanish heard of Bimini from the Arawak in Hispaniola, which is present day Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So it's there, that landmass, that island that those two countries share. That is where he heard about the Fountain of Youth. And also in Cuba and Puerto Rico. So he had heard from many of these I don't want to say First Nations, but Native people that the Fountain of Youth was on the island of Bimini. And he was like, we got to go there because, well, we didn't find gold exactly. So I guess we got to come back home with something. Fountain of Youth sounds great. So that was like their plan. So, y'all, I'm all over the place. Here it is. All right, so the islanders described a mythical land. So this is Bimini. It says I don't know how to exactly pronounce that. It's Beimeni. So I'm thinking Bimini, or Bimini as a land of wealth and prosperity. And like researchers think this became conflated with the Fountain of Youth legend. So they think that they just made a mistake pretty much. They basically had Bimini confused with Bonica or Boyuca or Boyuca. I think it's Boyuca. So they're saying too that the Fountain of Youth could be what is referred to as the healing hole. So the healing hole, and I put Fountain of Youth ? Like I was really kind of curious, not because I need youth, but just general knowledge. It was discovered by Taino people, and it is high in salt. So when I say high in salt, think the Dead Sea, like. How it's so high in salt that you float, basically. That is what they're talking about. And, salt is good for a lot of things. I mean, obviously not like high blood pressure and all that jazz, but like there are other uses. And the healing hole has a unique stone structure that's believed to be part of the road to Atlantis. So this is the Bimini Road. So when I was researching this, I'm thinking that the Bimini Road is like way out. Or just in the middle of the ocean. No, you dive into a hole, because I looked up pictures. I'm not a diver. I wish I was, but I'm not. You dive into a hole, and then you go down under the ocean, into like sort of a cave, and that is where you come across the hole. That's where you not the hole, the road, and those stone structures. And it was pretty cool to see, because I've seen it you see it on TV if you're up late like me, a complete nerd, watching the Discovery Channel. It was super fascinating. But this this is it. This is the Bimini Road. So, the Bimini Road, aka the Bimini, it's also called a wall. When I looked at it, or when I've seen, it looks like a road. I don't know where they got the wall from, but it looks like a road to me. It's located near North Bimini Island. So, actually, we weren't far from North Bimini Island. I think Alice-town is in South Bimini. But when you get off the ship, it's like the way I think, I don't know. My directions were kind of off. But I think we were actually near there, which is pretty cool. Near where you could dive and look at it. So the road or wall consists of a 0.50 mile linear feature composed of roughly rectangular limestone blocks. So that's what I was trying to describe, and I can find another picture for y'all to see if you've never seen it. If you aren't a complete nerd like I am. Like if you don't nerd like I nerd. the age of this structure has been attempted by using what they call radiocarbon dating and uranium thorium dating. I kind of know what carbon dating is. Like, you know, they kind of beat us over the head with it in school. But I don't know what the other one is. I've never in my life heard of that. Let me get a mirror. Hopefully I have a mirror. Yeah, so that is how they dated it to see what time, like when it was a thing. And I just found that this could be a geological feature. So of course, you know, the science people, and I shouldn't talk because I am actually one of the science people, being that I'm a nursing student. It said that this could be a geological feature as well, and not at all man-made. But, and I think this is dry. But I don't know. They always taking the fun out of stuff. Talking about it's a geological feature. No, it's a road. Come on. Like, don't be doing that. Okay. Some geological feature. I shouldn't. Let me stop mocking people. But that's what they say, that it's just like a road. I mean, not even a road. It's just, it's whatever. That is what we have for Bimini, actually. So the healing hole and all that. But now I'm going to tell you some of the wild-ish, shall we say, that I have encountered on my many vacations, my many trips across the Caribbean. So, wait a minute. Oh, nothing. I'm not of Caribbean descent or anything. At least I don't know. You know, with ancestry, it's anybody's guess. Like, but I have been going there since I was a child through cruises, and actually one time we flew over to Puerto Rico, and I have grown to love that region. There's just something about it that's absolutely beautiful. Checking my face. But there's just something about it that is just like, I don't know, man. It's gorgeous. And I love it. And so, this is the wrong blue. But, like I said, I've been going down there since I was a child and absolutely adore it. Like, her relatives be like, why though? And I'm like, why not? Ooh, crazy eyes. So, lately, especially after the pandemic, let me tell you something. We went in on going on cruises. Like, me and my mom were just like revenge traveling. Like, I mean, really for the past 2 or 3 years, it's been, or a year or two, it's been like, did somebody use this? No. It's just been on site. You know, we just been vibing and going down there. But before the pandemic, I'm trying to see. Before the pandemic, we went there for my 30th birthday. And we decided it was an 8-day cruise, and we went to Aruba. Aruba is beautiful. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. We went to Curacao. We went to St. Kitts. Met a guy who looked like John Boyega, who is bae. Anyways, so we went there, and when we went to, I think it was Aruba, the night before, because I like to get up at night and like look at the ocean, look at the stars or whatever. And that night I saw this ship, this sort of, I'm gonna throw out some nautical terms. It was a schooner, or it looked like a schooner from what I was looking at, but it actually wasn't. It was like a yacht, really. So, like an old school yacht. Like, think about, this is a deep cut. Y'all know that movie Captain Ron? Like, it was giving that. Like, that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, who is this? And they're like following our same course. And I mean, you do see that with pleasure crafts. People do like follow the cruise ships, which is kind of smart in a way, but also sometimes they're just going to the same place as as you. The same thing had happened when we stopped in Puerto Rico. There was another boat out there, on their way to San Juan. So I'm like, okay, it's just another boat. So that morning we see this same boat, and I'm like, oh my God. The nerd in me is like, Jesus Christ, it's Flying Dutchman. It wasn't the flipping Dutchman. Why would I even think that? Because I'm spooky, and that's why I'm doing this. So, like I said, thinking, oh Jesus, he done finally come for me. So full of myself. Anyways, so like we're, pulling up to Oranjestad, which is the capital of Aruba. Or at least, I think it's the capital. People from Aruba. Who is the capital of Aruba? What is the capital of Aruba? Who is the capital of Aruba? Really? So, we see this ship, or this boat, this craft, and I'm like, it's looking kind of familiar to me. And not because like, oh, we had seen this the night before. I'm like, why does this look familiar? I think it was called the Free Winds or something like that. And I kept trying to figure out why it was so familiar. And then it hit me why it was so familiar. Y'all remember Leah Remini's show about Scientology? I can't remember the name of it. The one where she was just like giving them what for, and she was always dressed. Oh my God, the nails, all the looks. Like, that show was very informative, but homegirl was slaying. So I'm, looking at this ship or this boat, and I won't say my horrors, because I wasn't worried about them snatching me in the night, but my suspicions, shall we say, are confirmed. It is the freaking Scientology ship boat thing. The one that is just like, it's known, shall we say. So, I'm sitting there. We're sitting on, I believe it wasn't the promenade deck. Do they even have those anymore? But I'm sitting, eating my breakfast, and there's this older white couple, and we're looking like we were all still trying to figure it out, and I think we were more so in disbelief, like, oh my fucking God, it's them. And so we're sitting there looking at them, and it was surreal and bizarre all at the same time. And I say that because the Free Winds, and if that's not the name of the boat, I will correct myself, but later on in editing. But this boat, these people on this boat, they were it was weird because they were trying to pretend, show they were having a great time. There's this one guy. First of all, they had this tiny ass pool. This pool's the size of my bed. My bed is a full size bed, and if you know what a full size bed looks like, they were this good dude kept jumping in the pool. There's some people sitting, and then I see these people in these uniforms, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, it's a Sea Org, and they're swabbing the decks and whatnot, and I'm like, I tell my mom hey, they pissed somebody off, and she's like, what? Because she wasn't really paying attention until me and the lady told her, that's the Scientology boat, and I was like, holy shit, take a picture. And I feel kind of bad for going in on them, but then given the stuff they've done to people, I'm sorry. You brought this upon yourself. So like I said, we are just oogling at this boat. And I'm trying not to stare too hard because, like I said, I felt kind of bad because these people are essentially in a cult. But I'm just like, oh my God, you know. And they the thing about it was they get off the boat. So the people that can get off the boat get off the boat. And it's creepy because they all get off in like a line. And I'm just like, I'm looking at, like, we're watching them because we weren't able to get off yet for some reason. Can't remember why. I think there's just basically to like kind of not to shorten it, but to like just to sum it up, there's a lot that goes into getting off of a ship. There's like like there's a lot that the port authority or whatever has to go through and check and make sure you aren't like harboring, I don't know, stowaways. I don't know. There's just a lot they have to do. Let me use this tonight because it's tonight and I'm going to wipe this off probably as soon as I'm done. But like I said, we are just watching these people get off this boat. And they get off in there. They all have on their little uniform. And they get off in single file. And they walk to a bus. Like this bus just pulls up like, it's just like right there. So, like I said, we are just like watching these people. Just like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's them, you know. And I'm adding so much blue, by the way. Leave me alone. But like I said, we watched them, and they I think they were there for a longer time, and then it came out that they had like rickets or something on board. No, it was a measles outbreak on board, and basically islands weren't letting them like dock because they was like, like no, we done did our time. we done did that. We ain't doing that no more. But yeah, so it was just weird to see them just existing. Just to see them. And it just like, I guess because of what we knew from Leah Remini, it just made it creepy. Like, that you're like, y'all aren't enjoying your damn self. Stop lying. Come on. Where your mama at? Like stop telling them stories. Like y'all out here having a grand old time. Don't do me. Don't do it. Out here playing all day. That is way in focus. I'm sorry. So that was a fun trip. Nope, that's not what I needed. I'm looking for my white eyeliner. I mean, that was a fun day, despite being slick freaked out that the Scientologists were there. And it's kind of messed up too. They have such a bad rep, but people, like, I know these people were like terrified that they were going to get snatched in the night by these people. And I'm like, yo, they're doing their own thing. I mean, listen, let them do what they want. Let them live, basically. Because they're, if you can call that living. But the next port of call we went on, actually, hold on, no, in between this port of call, this was the most paranormal ass cruise I've ever been on, or just like weird-ish type, thing. I am looking for my white eyeliner and can't find it. Oh, they took my eyeliner. They did not. The Scientologists did not take my eyeliner. So, anyways, I'm probably going to have to not use my eyeliner. Actually, I have this blue, so I'm gonna use this. But I'll just while I'm talking. While I'm looking, I'll just talk to y'all. So, like I said, most paranormal ass cruise I have ever been on. Just were weird. So I I don't know if this was me getting sick, but I could swear, like, okay, so this room, this cabin we were in was weird AF. I mean, part of it, wait a minute. So it was in the forward part of the ship, actually right at the bow, so you could hear the water splashing, which I actually got used to and kind of liked. I mean, it was like knocking noises, which was kind of creepy. But one night I had gotten really sick, and I was just like, oh my god, not seasick. Real talk, I'd eaten I have an oyster allergy that can get rough, right? So I had eaten these oysters and gotten very sick. I mean, pretty sick, to the point where I was throwing up, and it's kind of funny because I was like so concerned about, this Avatar look isn't gonna happen, so we just gonna turn into the ocean. So I had gotten very sick, and I at first was gonna go and like talk to the doctor, but I ended up not, because I ended up getting much better. This better not be my white eyeliner. It's not. so like I said, I was like just laying there in bed, and my stomach had finally calmed down, and I see a person at the end of my bed. And at first I thought it was my mom, because my mom had gotten up when I had gotten up, and she was like, don't eat them damn oysters, And so I'd say, hey mom, it's okay, you can go back to sleep, I'm fine. And she was like, she didn't say anything, and I was like, weirdo, just laying on the edge of my bed like this. Like, what are you doing? So, like I said, I am sitting there, or, relaxed. And I was like, why is she answering me? Like, rude. She then says, I'm not sitting on the edge of your bed. And I was like, yeah, you are. So I went back to sleep. And the next morning at breakfast, I'm talking to her about this. And she's like, I was not sitting on the edge of your damn bed. Like, I done told you. And I said, no, I could feel like the weight and everything. Like, I could feel everything from this, from you. And she's like, that wasn't me. So now I'm like, well, who was it? And I remember the person was, I don't think they were they tall? They were, medium height. And my mom's medium height, or she's average height. I'm below average height, 4'11". Not using this like I planned. But I remember this person, I say woman, but this person was sitting on the edge of the bed, and it's like, I couldn't tell they were looking at me, but just like sitting, I guess, in my mind, just in case I was like sick, or just, This is also a night before that we had sailed into the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, we had Billy Badass running as our captain, apparently. I guess he just thought he was gonna, tell his other seafaring friends, hey dude, like, totally win the triangle, man. He was Italian. He wouldn't have said that. And I'm not gonna do an Italian accent because I'm not gonna offend nobody. So I got all that going on, and that next night, like when I was much better, because I mean, I was better within like 12 hours. Although, y'all, it was touch and go, because I was like, oh Lord, I made some bad oysters. But with the Bermuda Triangle situation, because I know where that is. So I know it's like, where is my damn thing? I'll have to find it. But kind of know where that is. And what happened is that, oh God, I didn't know this was open. This wasn't open. We had, like, I was up late at night. Rick and Morty was on, which is the jam. Love that show. Damn, I really just lost my container. Unbelievable. So, Rick and Morty was on, and I was just sitting there, you know, watching the show, laughing, and suddenly, like, the TV went out. And I was like, what the? And I remember having a real bad headache. Like, look, it was just like pressure. And normally on the ocean, I don't get headaches. I've been on a lot of cruises. I don't typically get headaches, but this time I did. And I was like, I'm flipping leavable. You know, like, how dare you give me a headache, nature? So I am, like I said, sitting there with this bad, awful headache. And I'm like, man, this is rough. Like, this is not great. And so the TV blanks back on. By the way, the room is pitch black. Didn't know I had some mayonnaise, y'all. So the room is pitch black, and I am sitting there in the dark like a weirdo. And Mom is awake at that point, so she's like, "What happened to the TV?" And I'm like, "Girl, I don't know. Like, TV just went out, you know." So TV comes back on, and I'm like, let's see where we are in relation to our next destination. Y'all, we was in the middle of the damn triangle. I mean, not in the middle, but like on the skirting it. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is where it ends. This is where it ends. Like, this is it. And I remember later on, I had texted my friend and was like, yo, we were in the triangle. And he was like, well, you got your wish. Didn't you always want to be on the ocean? And I was like, hey, man, you know, the hell with you. You know? But, yeah. Middle of the triangle. Not to mention we in this Scooby-Doo ass cabin, in the words of Dave Chappelle. Because when I say Scooby-Doo ass cabin, I mean it. Like, this thing, y'all, this cabin, the lights would just go on and off with no provocation. just like, cause like the way, okay, so the way that these cabins are, I heard this Avatar thing wasn't the best lipstick, so we might do some coverage. But the way that these cabins are, you stick your, what they call your sell and sign card into the into like a slot, and it leaves the light on. So one day, me and my mom were sitting there chilling, and the light just goes off. And I was like, dang, like, did you stick the card in all the way? And, you know, we're going back and forth, and she's like, yeah, no, I did. And so I go look, and the damn thing is in the slot, like firmly in there. And then as another happened, the lights flickered on. Now, if I remember correctly, this was the ship where a person was killed, like one of the crew members was killed. But I was like, why would you be in the cabin? Like, that's weird, you know. Like, why you want to bother us ladies like that? Come on, man. I mean, it was bizarre. Like, when I tell you, the lights just went slap out, as we say down here. The lights went slap out. And so we just, like I said, we were just sitting there, and I was like, okay, I mean, it was just weirdness upon weirdness upon weirdness. It was just bizarre. Trying out this little glow stick. This luminous something or another. Like, this was supposed to be my avatar look, but circumstances. So now, it's my Bimini look. I mean, it's my mermaid look. Oh, that is pretty. Okay. But, yeah. That is, like I said, this is the most, one more story and then we're done. So, last thing that happened was in St. Kitts. We went to a plantation, old sugar plantation, and there was nothing left there. It was just ruins. But the energy there was just way off. So, long story short, I went in what they call the boiling house. And the boiling house is basically where they would boil the sugar, which would turn into molasses, and then it would, go down a little trail and become, I think it became molasses. I can't remember exactly what the process is, but went down there and absolutely creepy. And it was just like it was as though someone was telling me, you don't need to be in here. And maybe the spirits, the ancestors thought that I was a child, because I did look like a child. Like, I had on overalls and like a, Lord, I think I had on this shirt actually, this Krabby Patty SpongeBob shirt. But I remember like just feeling gross, and so I left and went out, and one of the locals, they were selling food, and they were like, oh, they said, what's going on, and I was like, it just feels weird in there. And then she says, oh, you feel it too. And I was just like, I didn't question her. I was just like, yeah, what the French toast is going on in there? And I mean, if you know any like history about, of course, especially just plantations in general, you know that the worst plantation you could be on, I mean, other than generally any plantation, was a sugar plantation. And so I can only imagine like what went on in that boiling house as far as injuries. I mean, just, oh God, it's gross to think about. Like, I won't tell y'all the injuries that you could get in a sugar plantation, like especially working with heat and such. But this is the end of the video. This is my first video, so please bear with me. The next one will be better. Hope you like this look. I do. I'm really experimenting with colorful lipsticks, because I started out with black, because I like black lipstick. I think it has like an edge to it. But this is pretty. So, I will see you all later. Bye.